Ladies and gentlemen, I am Ed Harmon. I was told that there was only one expectation of me tonight, and that is that I carry out the same old song and dance. I cannot sing, but I can dance. And all I can ask you to do is to help us light this place up.
And I'm having an issue lately because Georgia is an only child, and you know that like 5 minutes into meeting her. She's a tattle. She has this tattling issue. She's a tattletale, right? And I'm a criminal defense lawyer, okay? So I'm like, yo. Snitches end up in ditches, yo. Which, by the way, is not effective at all. She does not, understand that. So we've been doing some role-playing where I've been giving her scenarios because they say to tell children, you tell when there's a safety issue. So I say things like, okay, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Tell me if you would go to your teacher for this. Bobby tells you your shoes are ugly. I swear to God, this is her response. Doesn't feel safe to me, Mommy. Does not feel safe to me. I'm like, Georgia, you're not going to have any friends. I don't need friends, Mommy. I have you. Chris Rock, the comic, says that his number one goal as a parent is to keep his daughters off the pole, right? You all know what that means? Off the stripper pole. I feel like my number one goal as a parent is to keep my daughter from becoming Nellie from Little House on the Prairie. And I am losing the battle.
So if you find yourself a client in your office and you say something like, so tell me what you don't like about your legal situation. And you hear back, well, I was hanging out with Trogdor and Marmar at the transit center when up comes the cops, the pigs, the fuzz, the 5-0, the popo. And they're jerking us around, and they pick up a little snow cone because they think he criddled some dude's iPod. And they shake down my baby mama, but all she was holding was some whoop. Even so, she had a warrant, so she went to jail, but she got caught bringing some bunk into the jail in her purse. So now she's in the hole. But I just got a kite from her cellie saying she wants me to get a real lawyer, not a public pretender, before her arraignment so he can file a motion to squash. But the client says, man, I'm broke as a joke, so what do I do? And that's how you know you have a criminal case. So let's say you decide to keep it and you're going to go to trial now. Now the best plan is to get assigned to the judge who is known in Multnomah County as the not guilty fairy. And by the way, that's none of you.
That's out there is from when I started my practice, which is now 5 years ago, which is kind of crazy to think about. But, definitely look like a deer in the headlights in that picture. I'm more of an elk in the headlights these days as metabolism is catching up. But I tried one of these juice cleanses, right? And this is where you're drinking just juice and water for, about 3 or 4 days straight, right? Not something most people would voluntarily subject themselves to, but it's all the rage these days because you're supposed to feel great and have tons of energy, nutritious and delicious, all that good stuff. And, for the most part, on day one, that's fairly true. The juice is good, you feel pretty good. You're going around telling everybody how much of a better person you're going to be now because you're drinking juice all the time. And, day two, you're, a little wobbly in the oral argument. Headaches all the time. You can't schedule meetings longer than 30 minutes because you got to pee all the time. Day three, you're across the street in the park, sobbing gently into your bottle of 20-something odd juice and wondering if you can catch a pigeon. Le Pigeon goes from a nice fancy restaurant on the east side of town to a legitimate lunch option at that point.
My son Tony, who just finished his sophomore year in college, got an internship on the Oregon Supreme Court because Skip Durham believes that intelligence skips a generation. This kid, I'm very, very proud of. He can think on his feet. And let me give you an example. In this very Coliseum, his freshman year of high school. We were seating up in the nosebleed section, and all of a sudden, I smelled someone smoking pot. But I don't say anything about it because I'm a parent of a teenager. A few seconds later, Tony says, Dad, someone's smoking pot. I turn to him and say, really? And how do you know what pot smells like? He says, and I quote, I smelt it on TV.